Okay, for the past 20 years or so, we've all known the deal. You want to find something, you go to Google, type in a few words, and you get that classic list of blue links. Simple. Well, that entire world is going through a tectonic shift, and it's happening right now. Let's dive into this brand new rulebook for how we find information online.
So here's the change in a nutshell. On the left, you've got the world we all grew up with, traditional search. It gives you a rank list of websites, and it's your job to click through them and piece together the answer yourself. But on the right, that's the new reality. It's the generative engine. It does all that hard work for you, pulling from multiple sources to cook up a single direct answer, and it even shows you its sources.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look back at the old rules of search. Then we'll unpack this new AI answer engine and the big problems it creates. After that, we'll introduce a totally new strategy called GEO. Look at what the data says actually works, pump the brakes a bit with a critical look, and finally, figure out what this all means for the future of getting noticed online.
So first, let's just take a quick trip down memory lane. We're talking about the world of search engine optimization, or SEO. For years, the game was incredibly simple, right? Your only goal was to fight for the highest possible spot on that list of results. The higher your rank, the more people clicked. That's it. And you know, this game has been changing for decades. If you look at this timeline, you can see it all started back in the 90s with just matching keywords. Then the 2000s hit, and Google's PageRank made backlinks the name of the game. By the 2010s, AI was already creeping in, trying to figure out what you really meant. But then, in 2022, something completely different showed up, and it demands a whole new playbook.
And that brings us to the star of our show, the new AI answer engine. And this is where a massive problem pops up for anyone who makes content online. Think about it. When a user gets a perfect, direct answer, why would they ever bother to click on your website? This is the core challenge we're all facing now.
Okay, so let's be super clear about what we're talking about. A generative engine, or GE, is basically an AI system that hoovers up information from all over the web to build one single, neat answer for you. You've probably seen this with tools like Perplexity.ai or even in Google's new search experience. They aren't just finding links anymore, they're creating answers.
Now, what's happening under the hood here is pretty wild. You type in a question, right? But the AI doesn't just search for that. As you can see here, it actually breaks your question down into a bunch of smaller sub-questions, sends those out to find sources, and then uses its brain to stitch all that info together into the final answer you see.
And this really gets to the heart of the conflict. The researchers who first studied this put it perfectly. For us, as users, this change is awesome. It's faster, it's easier, but it creates this huge challenge for the people who actually make all the content, the people who rely on you visiting their websites to make a living. If the clicks disappear, that entire ecosystem is at risk.
So, how do you adapt? What's the new game plan? Well, that's where this whole new field of optimization comes into play. It's called GEO, and it's not about getting clicks anymore. It's about becoming a trusted source that the AI uses to build the answer.
So let's define it. Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, is all about tweaking your content to make it more likely that an AI engine will grab it and, this is the crucial part, cite it in the final answer. The goal is no longer to be number one on a list. The goal is to become a reference.
And wow, this visual just says it all. Look at this. On the left, before any geo, that third website has a measly 12% visibility in the AI's answer. But on the right, after they applied these geo techniques, its visibility just explodes to 63%. It becomes the main source. That is the power we're talking about here.
Okay, so that all sounds great, but what actually works? How do you do it? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. A groundbreaking study actually put a bunch of different methods to the test to see what really moves the needle with these new AI engines.
And the results were fascinating. What they found was that old-school SEO tricks, like just stuffing your page with keywords, totally useless. Didn't work at all. But the new strategies, things like adding direct quotes, including hard numbers and statistics, and citing other credible sources yourself, those were all high-performing. And the potential payoff here is huge. The researchers found that just by applying these high-performing geo methods, you could boost your visibility in that final AI answer by up to 40%. I mean, that is a massive, massive advantage. But hang on, this next number is even crazier. They found that geo can actually give a bigger boost to sites that are lower ranked in traditional search.
Get this, a website that was ranked way down at number 5 saw its visibility in the AI answer jump by over 115% just by citing its sources well. This could be a real way to level the playing field.
So if we boil it all down, the stuff that really works rests on 3 main pillars. Number 1, add direct quotes from experts. 2, include hard statistics and data. And 3, cite your own sources to back up what you're saying. It's all about signaling to the AI that you are credible and you know what you're talking about.
Now, this is a brand new field, right? So it's super important to take a step back and have a balanced view. The early research is really exciting, but there are definitely some fair criticisms and limitations we need to talk about.
And one of the biggest critiques comes from SEO experts like Rich Songer. His point is, hey, don't forget about the basics. If the AI can't even find and crawl your website in the first place, none of this geo stuff matters. You know, fundamental SEO is still the ticket you need just to get into the game.
Yeah, and it's also really important to remember that these findings are just the beginning. They're based on one specific AI model, GPT 3.5 Turbo. Other AIs might act differently. The study also left out huge topics like travel and food. And maybe most importantly, these AI models are changing all the time. So what works today might not work 6 months from now. So with all of that swirling around, what's the big takeaway? How should we really think about making sure our stuff gets seen over the next few years?
It really all comes down to this one fundamental shift in your goal. The old game of SEO was all about attracting clicks from a list. The new game, Geo, is about earning citations inside a direct answer. Your entire strategy has to pivot around this new target.
So here's the bottom line. The new playbook isn't about trying to trick the system with keywords. It's about clarity. It's about credibility. It's about creating content that is so well structured and trustworthy that an AI can easily understand it, process it, and rely on it as a source.
And that really leaves us with one final, crucial question you have to ask yourself about everything you create. In this new world of AI search, is your content just made to be read by a person, or is it made to be cited by a machine? Because the answer to that question will decide who gets found in the future.